Hello YouTube, this is Josh aka Blue Narwhal Gamer, and this is the association draft I'm going to have for my Portland Trailblazers team. 29 game season, so I can only play one game per team. The reason why is because I want to put out every single game I play. I don't want to have an 82 game season. I don't want to put out 82 games. I want to put out 29 games. It's a lot quicker, and I think it'd be more realistic. Instead of seeing possibly like the Bobcats not the Bobcats, the Timberwolves 3 times, which would probably bore a lot of people. Serpentine draft. It's also known as the snake draft. So you see me pick the Portland Trailblazers with the 21st pick, and right there I'm surprised by John Wall going before Chris Paul, Derrick Rose, Darren Williams, Rajon Rondo, so on and so forth. You'll see them. I was surprised he was picked that early, but I know it's just because he has huge potential, and that's the only reason why they drafted him that high up. And so you see me with the choices of Dirk, Gasol, Ginobili, Nash, Josh Smith, Joe Johnson, so on. And most people would think I would pick Pau Gasol or Manu or Dirk because they have the highest rating overall and they're the best of them. But I choose Josh Smith because he's a very good shooter in this game. I don't like I kind of like Dirk, but I don't like Pau or Manu. Their contracts, they have huge contracts, so I don't want to pick them. I want to pick younger players also. I could have picked Kevin Garnett right there, but he's really old, and he has a huge contract that I don't want to mess with. $21 million a year. I was going to get Steve Nash too, but he is 37. And he does have a pretty big contract, so I'll go with Eric Gordon. The young player, I don't think his contract is too bad. And plus, I want talent on my team. Steve Nash has already reached his peak. Eric Gordon is still on his way up. And then I picked Sean Marion. He is a little bit of an older player. Not the cheapest of them. But he is a really good player to have on your team. He's a really good defensive player. He can be a six-man. He can be a starter. He can do anything for your team. Great defensive player. I wouldn't say great offensively, but decent offensively. So I'm looking at my team so far: Sean Marion, Eric Gordon, and Josh Smith. And so I was thinking about getting Jason Terry, but he was way too much, and he's another shooting guard, which would make him a six-man immediately, and I don't want another six-man. So I go with Raymond Felton, a very good young point guard. I'd say the next younger point guard that isn't an all-star yet, that I would consider similar to him would be Ty Lawson, but I think he was already drafted. Yeah, he was already drafted. I really like Ty Lawson. So I'm just looking for someone that would fit my team, and I'm looking for young players right here, but yeah, most of them are really low overall, or I just don't like them at all for my team. And then I'm going around, and I choose Nick Young. He's a very young, really good shooting guard that would be great for my team, which is mainly 3-point, mid-range, and inside offensively. And defensively, I need a person that can steal and a blocker. I already have a blocker with Josh Smith, and Raymond Felton's good at stealing. He'd be a decent player for defense. So I go with Kirk Heinrich. He's a very good defensive player, Kirk. He's a good offensive player in terms of shooting and being a true point guard of passing. So I pick him. I really like Kirk Heinrich. And then I'm looking at Chris Humphries. And yeah, I'm not going to go with Chris Humphries. I go with Brandon Bass. He has had a decent season so far. I like Brandon Bass. He's a really good player to have. He's a good mid-range shooter. And then I see Chuck Hayes. I love getting Chuck Hayes on my team. He is probably one of the, I won't say he's underrated because he's not as good as many people would think of him. So I wouldn't consider him underrated. I say least known player. Probably if you tell most people who's Chuck Hayes, they probably don't know who he is. But I think he's good for being so unknown of a player. So I pick him up just because he's a good backup power forward and a good backup center at 6'6", which is pretty surprising to have a guy that can be a foot shorter than a center, which actually happened. He was a foot shorter than Yao, and he was a backup to him. But he could play center pretty well because he's a great defender. And then I like a lot of defense, so I go and pick up Tony Allen. Tony Allen's a great defensive player. He's a decent offensive player, but I'm really looking at him for defense, and that's what he's really good at. I think he came in fourth last year for defensive player of the year. He made all defense first team, and so then I go pick up Gary Neal, the great shooter. Second year in the league, he had a very good rookie season, being undrafted, scoring almost 10 points a game, making all rookie first team. And then I really like Gary Neal in this game. I don't like the Spurs in real life. I don't watch the Spurs at all, but I really like him, so I have to get him on my team. And then I'm looking just at my lineup, trying to see. I have 4 shooting guards already, which is kind of crazy. Most of them can play other positions. 1 small forward and 0 center, so I'm trying to look for a small forward right here, but I don't see really anyone. I looked at Daniel Green. He was having a pretty good season so far this year. That I've seen maybe 1 Spurs game. I really didn't want to. It was the only thing on NBA TV. I don't remember who they were playing. I think it was a team that I really liked. So I watched them, and Danny Green just looks like a horrible player to fit in with my team. I look at Roger Mason too because he was supposed to be really good at defense in this game, but for some reason his perimeter defense is way down there. I picked Gary Forbes. I don't like Gary Forbes at all. I picked him for one reason, and that one reason is just so that I can trade him right away. And also I don't want to see only 1 small forward, so I just put in another small forward. I will not get a lot of centers because I like power forwards that can play center, that can just move around from power forward to center, like LaMarcus Aldridge. And so I just decided to pick up 1 center, and that man is Fat Boy Curry, Eddie Curry. He was offered a huge contract before he became really big. He's 7 foot, and I think he was over 320 pounds maybe. So in this game he's 6'11", 285. He weighs less than that, but I really don't care. I just like him on my team because he used to be a really good scorer. Used to be good at defense, and hopefully I can bring that back to him. I can probably help him like in the training process. If I keep him for the off-season tasks, I can get him all the things such as the big man defense, big man rebounding, whatever, just so I can get him back to when he used to be amazing. And so that's why I picked him. Right there I was just adjusting all my player roles. And now I'm going to name it Blue Narwhal Gamer because I have literally 15 other associations, which is pretty annoying after a while. And so basically I will try to put out every single game I play. I already finished one of my games, so 28 games left. I think I'll be able to do it. And thanks for watching, and tune in next time.